because Nelly has done what no one has done in the game. I mean, I think Tiger's best was, I think it was seven in a row Tiger won. Like, she's in that conversation now. Like, she's there. Like, we over here talking about Xander and Scotty compared to Tiger. No. It now needs to shift to Nelly and Tiger. All right, Beyond the Fairway, man, we back at it again. Dougie Fresco alongside Will Lally. Hey, welcome back into the show. And if you're listening to the podcast, please go ahead, 5-star review. We don't need the 4s and 3s. There's only 5. All right. And if you're watching the podcast on the Crosshand YouTube channel, go ahead, leave comments. We don't want our conversations to be one-sided. We want y'all in here with us, rocking with us. You know, we had the emergency podcast. We want to know your feedback about that. But over the weekend, wow. Golf was crazy. And by the way, if you leave a comment on this video, we might do something for you. I'm just saying, Will, you know, we like to get friendly to people and bless people behind the scenes, so we might as well do that too over there in the comments.
Did you see the one comment by a gentleman? I gotta get his name, but he said he guessed Xander the whole time, which to his credit he did, because he guessed prior to the week starting, and then once he won, he said, "Hey, I guessed Xander." So
hey, shout out to the guy that guessed Xander and got nothing for it. Maybe we might bless him too. You know what I mean? Yo, but welcome back in here post PGA Championship Valhalla. You know, it's funny. We turned that into like a greeting. Like, you know, you say people, I'll holla. Like in Kentucky, we'd be like, Valhalla. So anyway, back out of KY. Will, you're not arrested. You didn't get arrested. Scotty did. We've already talked about it. Xander Schauffele took the Wanamaker in, well, epic fashion, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a major that I kind of needed to get the juices going for the next 2 majors that we have. You know, think about the final 72 holes, the final 18 holes, to where it's like, okay, if this happens, this could happen, and if that happened because that happened on Saturday, this could happen on Sunday. And I was like, I mean, it felt like I was in drafting fantasy football. Like, I was like, man, there's a lot of scenarios that can come out and play here. Okay. And I was excited to see what happened, and I was, pretty much left on edge, until the final ball drop. So that was pretty good. It felt good.
I mean, even that was dramatic. Yeah. Even the 6-footer to make the birdie on the last hole, he hit it next to the bunker in the fairway shot, had a baseball swing, hit a rope hook into a optimal position to get up and down. And coming off last week down in your hometown, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's dope how we went from Charlotte to Louisville, so we had that home feel. But you watch Xander coming. Xander got beat last week, Quail Hollow. Roy beat you. Let's just be honest. He didn't play his best golf.
Got beat.
He got beat, and that's okay. You want to see that. But he did an interview with Golf Channel's Todd Lewis, and Todd basically said some bullshit to the effect of like, how much does this sting? Or you're right there, you keep failing. And Xander flipped it, man. And he was like, you know what? All that is going to help make the next win that much sweeter. And a week later, well, Todd had to moonwalk his words.
But given it to what Xander has done, over the past, just past couple years. I mean, he hasn't won. I mean, granted, this guy has had so many top 10, so many top 5s, but he has not won since 2022. He has not won since the Scottish Open, Genesis Scottish Open. So when you think about, like, when he made that comment after his press conference, he said, man, I'm just trying to stay in my lane. It's funny from a culture standpoint, Doug. We know what that means, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Basically means mind your business. Just mind your damn business, right?
Get up out of here, cuz.
So all the stuff that has happened around him, all the stuff that he should be winning, the critics saying he should be winning, even internally, he probably feels that he's winning. But there's got to be a point to where you talk to yourself. It's like, just stay in your lane. You know what's going to happen. It's going to happen when it happens, and just keep your head down and keep plowing. And when you think about from him, especially at the previous week, like you said, Wells Fargo, where he got beat. And when we saw the first round that he posted 62, I mean, it was almost an internal feeling like,
here we go again.
Yes, but like, damn, if he don't win this one, this one's really gonna sting. And we've been to the story before the first 3 rounds, right?
Yeah, we've been through it, but it was one of those things where it's like, man, how many times can he get his ass beat? I made the joke when we were on property, Xander's been like LeBron to me. You give him $1, you get 3/4 back. Well, in golf, you only get 3 rounds. Xander's notorious for playing 3 solid rounds of golf, but that 4th round, I don't really depend on LeBron in the 4th. I'm just saying that's just me. Call him the GOAT, whoever.
Oh,
That's just my take.
hold on. Let's rewind that. So you're saying LeBron for the game-winning shot is equivalent to Xander's final round. He's just not gonna show up.
They have been until this week. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you give him $1, he'll give you 3/4 back. That's my take on LeBron James. I'm just saying whatever. But here's the thing, Will. When we came down the stretch yesterday and you looked at the leaderboard, it was the first time, minus the event Quill Hollow, where it was kind of like the stars were on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
I mean, just looking at how everything finished, you had Xander Schauffele with the win, Bryson 1 shot back, Bryson DeChambeau, Victor Hovland solo 3rd, Thomas Dietrich, who I think is that next player to start being a world beater, in my opinion. Colin Morikawa, Justin Rose, Shane Lowry. Somehow Billy Horschel backdoor to top 10. Scotty Scheffler gets arrested, still finishes in the top 10. If he didn't get arrested, I tell you what, that Saturday round, like Friday was crazy that he played that well after, getting locked up.
Yeah. But
I don't think the Friday hit him till Saturday.
I think that it was a case of the Eminem back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity.
How you just worked that into a golf podcast, I'll never know. But I appreciate it. And don't forget, Ted Scott had to actually throw the deuces on the weekend. He had some obligations. I think there was a graduation that he had to attend. And so Scotty kind of had to figure out that Saturday when everything hit him, when all the reality came back and the moment wasn't as surreal, he didn't have his man with him. Shot that, 73, I want to say, there in the 3rd round. But, man, did he bounce back. Scotty, I've said he's boring.
He can't be boring no more, Dougie.
You know what? I said it right here on this podcast. Scotty Scheffler is one of the most boring players on the tour. Well, I tell you what, he kind of gangster now. He kind of gangster now.
Yeah, he went from cell blocks to avoid him blocks on the first tee, and that right there showed a true testament of a golf gangster right there, and I love it.
Golf. Hold on, stop.
Hey, dog, this man.
Did you just say Scotty Scheffler is a golf gangster? Never in my life did I would ever hear or think that Scotty.
But only thing we got to give Scotty a little bit of I guess a little PR advice is, he can't be bragging how great he got treated in jail. He said, "Yeah, I got a sandwich."
Did you?
He's like, "Yeah, I'm stretching." Hey, Scotty, dude. Hey, bruh, you can't be out here saying, man, you got to add to it. Like, man, it was tough in there. The whole 2 hours I was in there, it was tough. Like, but saying that you were stretching, I got a sandwich. They gave me a sandwich.
He had a cell by himself. I tell you what, the internet is still undefeated though. The fact that people were wearing Scotty mugshots on Friday's round, hours after him being arrested was legendary. And you know what? I know that there was some things that happened off the golf course, but when we narrow it down and just talk about on the golf course, the Louisville, Kentuckiana fans, man, they showed up in a big way. 200,000 tickets sold. Place was packed. Yeah. On Tuesday, the place was packed. I still can't get over how many people showed up this week. It had a blast.
I mean, you got to think, even the practice rounds that we went through, we were kind of navigating, through the cart path of all the, Patriots and I mean, even that driving range was crazy. When we did our little, beyond the fairway with short game chef and your guy over, what's his name?
Aaron Dill. Aaron Dill, the man.
So when we kind of saw the crowd forming on Monday, we kind of knew it was going to be crazy by Sunday, by week's end.
Yeah, no question. But here's the question though, and I know we're going to get into our next segment here. We're talking about out of bounds, Will. We got a couple topics to talk about today on out of bounds, but I want to pose this to you first as we get out of bounds. Nelly wins her 6th tournament at Mizuho there at Liberty National over the week. She wins again. She's literally won 6 of the last 7 events on the LPGA Tour. Xander Schauffele wins his first major. I'm gonna be honest with you. Which one to you is more impressive? That's it, and I hate that it's even a question, but it is a good topic of discussion. I'm just
That's
saying.
a good question, bro.
It is a good question
because they both exemplify fortitude, right?
I would say that.
If you think about it, given the fact that again, Nelly won 6 out of the last 7 LPGA Tour events. One was a major. Xander Schauffele has finished top 10. I mean, he's just a top 10 machine. Top 10 machine. But has not won since 2022 at the Scottish Open. I'll probably have to get that to Nelly Korda though.
You know what? I was about to say if you did, we was gonna have some problems, bro. I'm being real with you, man, because I to play at a expert level. We on expert mode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she is really. I hate to say it, but she's dogging them ladies out there on the LPGA Tour.
Man,
like it's not even. She has no competition, right? Okay, Rose Zhang wins last week. Okay, that's fine.
Who said the famous quote? I think it was referred to Jack Nicklaus when he said he's playing a course that I'm not familiar. He's playing a course I'm not familiar. She's playing a game that's not familiar, bro.
She's playing a tour that's unfamiliar right now. She
and think about it. But here's the kicker: the media is unfamiliar. The media's still not giving her pub that she should.
They don't know what to do. They let's send you to the Met Gala, and okay, man, we'll take some pictures.
I mean, that should be a topic of all of golf. Like it should be a topic of all of golf. It should trump. Man. It should trump PGA of America. Xander's winning, in my opinion.
Well, I tell you what, it's not, and I think we got a problem right there because Nelly has done what no one has done in the game. I mean, I think Tiger's best was, I think it was seven in a row. Tiger won. She's in that conversation now. She's there. Like we over here talking about Xander and Scotty compared to Tiger. No. It now needs to shift to Nelly and Tiger. As it relates to body of work in this specific period of time. I don't know what the LPGA is doing. I don't know what the media is doing, but that's the bigger story in golf. And now I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get to an LPGA event this season. 100%. And I'll be honest, I've never done that before. Never have I been I gotta get to an LPGA event, but this season I gotta get to one.
I mean, it's greatness, and we have the opportunity to witness it literally at first hand. I mean, this is kind of what happens. I got a tennis background. Her father is a famous Peter Korda. He's a tennis player. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we just tennis players. We just find a way to win. Even though I never found a way to win 6 out of 7 tournaments, but we find ways to make it happen. So, Doug, here's another question. I want to know if I'm out of bounds for this one. Okay. Tony Finau. Is Tony Finau this generation Phil Mickelson? Let me go in depth.
What?
I say that.
I hope you got some more there.
Let me say that. Let me go a little depth. Phil Mickelson, during our time we were coming up, he got on tour back in '92. He didn't win his first major until 2004 at the age of 32, I believe. Right? Tony Finau is now 34 and he's in his 10th year on the PGA Tour. Has yet to have a major. Now they both were full of talent. Now, is it fair to say to this generation of kids who were fan of the PGA Tour in their teenage years, is Tony Finau the new Phil Mickelson, to where we're just waiting for him, this guy who has all this talent, all this belief, to win his first major?
I tell you what, Will. I'm glad you had you thought out the rest of that question, because I was like, hell no, ain't nothing about Tony Finau even comparative to Phil Mickelson when you talk about him now. But how you actually pose the question is quite interesting, because like you said and we're alluding to, Phil was the guy that hadn't done it, had the talent, showed the prowess, hadn't had it done yet.
He had a monkey on his back.
He did. I'm still actually trying to process the question, because per what you're saying, I would venture to say that yes, Tony Finau is exhibiting modern day Phil Mickelson vibes. I'll go there with you.
Because
Oddly enough,
and I'm saying that because Tony's always first page of leaderboard every major.
mm-hmm.
You see him showing up, but you just can't see him get over the hump. And I'm just curious. Like, I'm starting to wait for Tony to crack. Like, Tony, I need you to come over to the finish line of one of them now. It's about that time. I know you got 6 PGA Tour wins at this time in his career. Phil has 7 PGA Tour wins. So we are. I mean, we tracking. You're 30 in the world. I'm waiting for T-Fee. T-Fee is his new name, by the way. Big break.
T-Fee, I hate that. I'll tell you that.
No, T-Fee. Waiting for T-Fee to come victorious. So I appreciate that. I kind of want to pose that question too. Is Tony Finau this modern day Phil Mickelson of just waiting for him to crack into the major world?
But let's stop though. I hear the numbers and the stats, but let's just be clear though. Phil Mickelson has 57 wins in 6 majors, and I get it. He flipped the switch and changed his career in the kind of latter part
after
of it.
After he got that first major in 04.
Exactly. I'm not taking that away, but I mean, you're also talking about a guy that won on the PGA Tour as an amateur. Like, and I'm not taking that away from Tony. Tony didn't even play amateur golf. He said the hell with. He went from junior golf to the pros. Let's just be honest there. I get that, but it's a very interesting question, and from a winning standpoint, I'd say yes. But Tony's also shown flashes of greatness. He had the back-to-back wins at the Rocket, then won 3M. He won in Houston. He's won in Vedanta. It hasn't been that. It's not a Xander drought where Tony hasn't won. But I don't know. That's a question I'm gonna have to sit with because there's just so much more to unpack. But I like where your mind is today, Will. I really appreciate the thought.
It's a little biased because we're both big break guys, and I'm always rooting for him. His nephews play on the Underrated Golf Tour, and his son I think he's going to join us out there as well. So it's a little biased. I'm just waiting for the nephews to say, finally, Uncle T got a major, and I'm ready to celebrate with them.
How old is Tony Finau?
He is 34 years old.
Tony's 34. Okay.
10 years on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, let us know what you think on the Out of Bounds subject today. We're going to post that up there on the social so you can go ahead and get active. But, this is usually the time, Will, where I pour up some bourbon and start to drink. But a lot of people don't understand that we record this early in the morning. And so I'll be honest with you. Today, after all the bourbon that I had in Kentucky over the week and all the celebratory, I got some coffee right here. And that's what we're going to drink in this 19th hole roundtable discussion today. And if you know, because I went very deep when I was in Kentucky. I drank all of the bourbon, all of it.
You still got liver?
It's my liver's on timeout right now. It put me on timeout. My liver said, "Really, bro? You go back home and drink all this damn bourbon?" No, I'm not with you today. Sorry, there's gonna be a beep right there. All right, so 19th hole discussion. Will, we've covered some solid topics, but there's some things that I went to sleep on last night, and I don't even know how to put this in words because it's nuts, maybe even crazy. So I'm looking at this whole PGA Tour live separation, getting back together, wherever we are right now with PGA Tour versus live. But when I look at the Masters coming into the PGA Championship, I've noticed that when the stars come back together, we get a better golf product. And it leads me to believe, one, I feel like we're all being robbed of the best golf product by the separation because the majors is where it comes back together. No, I love the excitement. The PGA Championship, Bryson DeChambeau chipping in on the 54th hole on Saturday for Eagle, pushing up the leaderboard, a couple hole outs in the week. Watching Bryson was absolutely exhilarating. Even Brandel Chamblee in the broadcast. If you go back and watch live from last night, Brandel Chamblee talking about Bryson's round was ecstatic. I have never heard him preach gospel and wonderfulness over Bryson DeChambeau, especially how vehemently he denies live golf and what it stands for and how it's backed, etc. But my question is the live stuff starting to not matter, to the fans? Because I'll tell you what, Bryson, the ovation that Bryson had yesterday, you couldn't tell me that he didn't play on the PGA Tour. You couldn't tell me that fans weren't rooting for him to win. You can't do it.
I think the bit of spunk. I mean, you got to think. If you were a house divided, whether you were with Live or you were with PGA Tour, whatever. But I think everybody stood together yesterday. When you saw Bright, and even for me, like it really clicked in heavy for me when I saw Bryson in that bunker on the 72nd hole, ball below his feet. I was like, I'm really hoping that he can convert this birdie. Now, from that position, there was no way that you didn't think he could, have a birdie opportunity. Ball below his feet, he's bringing in Shank as a possibility, and sometimes you can overcompensate when the ball below your feet, especially in the bunker, which he kind of did, which made him pull left a little bit. But the fact is that he wasn't in position A. He got up and down, and you saw the emotions after he made that birdie putt. And even after he did his portion of Colin Morikawa, shook his hand, whatever. But when he was walking to the tent to sign his scorecard, the way he was hyping the crowd up, I was like, bro, I'm locked in. It was such a bittersweet because I wanted Xander to win, but I wanted 3 extra holes according to PGA of America. You do 3-hole aggregate playoff. And I'm like, man, I really want this to go down. So when I saw, Bryson over there on the driving range, and you see in the back screen where you see if he's
poetic.
Poetic. He's watching Xander every move, and it looks as if like, oh, it's about to happen. When Xander had to do the baseball, balls above his feet, the balls above his body.
Yeah.
and it was like, all right, this might be a possibility here. But to think that, I say all that to say this. I think we are now at a point to where when you see, and I hate to say this, I have to say it, there might be an asterisk when it comes to you see people, performing without all the other players out there competing on week in, week out basis. When you see you got the guys on the Live who are not able to play, on the PGA Tour, and we giving all this homage to Scottie Scheffler, which he's a great player, but maybe there's an asterisk there. Maybe there is. Maybe it's like the 99 Spurs. Not everybody had a full season. Not everybody's there. So
I'm not gonna say that, but let me give you some numbers here real quick.
How you gonna figure what?
Let me give you some numbers because I want to see you react more. Like I'm liking where you at right now. I'm trying to feed the beast right now. We go back to the Masters, right? 13 Live players in the field, 8 make the cut. You had Sergio, Bubba, Charles Schwartzel, Dustin Johnson, Adrian Meronk, Cam Smith, and Bryson. Cam and Bryson finished in the top for 6. But you had those 5 players missed the cut. Now, 16 Live players got into the PGA Championship. And by the way, I have to say this out loud. How the hell did Andy Ogletree get the PGA Championship? Like, what? Andy Ogletree. Okay, 19 U.S. amateur champion. I get that. But has been erased from the planet since. Have no clue how he did. Granted, he did win his first professional event that got him Asian Tour status. I get it. But how the hell did the PGA of America acknowledge him as a player in this field, especially when you got a guy 84th in the world like Nate Lashley that missed out being first alternate, and then John Daly withdraws after
how much
7
money,
shots.
How much money did Nate Lashley miss out by being first alternate and waiting the whole damn time?
I don't. Oh, he said it cost him $5,000. He said it was 5. He had to pay the caddy to come and do this thing, plus travel, but hotel or wherever he stayed.
So now, Doug, typically when you're 84th, when you're on that number, 84 you usually get in the major, correct?
That's his whole point. It's like I usually get in, like I should have got in. But let me finish this. 11 of 16 Live players make the cut at the PGA Championship. Most notably, John Rahm, Adrian Meronk, David Puig, Phil Mickelson, and Andy Ogletree. Those are the ones that missed the cut. How about this? Did you even hear or see a shot from Patrick Reed at the PGA Championship?
And he made the cut.
He shot 5 under. And I don't think he had one shot on the coverage. Taylor Gooch, talking all that shit. Well, got your ass beat. Finished tied for 60th. I'm just saying, my point is, I don't think Live is starting to matter. I remember that first Masters when Live players left And then they came back to that first Masters. There was like that divide on the range, and it was like we over here, y'all over there. Man, you got Rory and I forget who he's playing with, practice rounds. Like these cats, one, they live with each other. They next door neighbors. Jon Rahm, Tony Finau, they play at Silverleaf here in Arizona. So it's like, I just think it's not a thing. Like, no one's really caring. Only the media and, Eamon Lynch and Brandel Chamblee.
I tell you this. I tell you this. The opinion leaders such as Eamon and Brandel, I think sometimes they could be fueling the fire a bit. Fueling the fire of keeping the West Coast and East Coast beef going. Because I'm getting tired of it, dog. After going through,
I'm worn out.
I just witnessed yesterday of rooting for Bryson and seeing how Cam responded this year at Valhalla. Patrick Reed, like you said, we didn't know if you had to be a Patrick Reed fan to know that he made the cut, right? And I see, and I feel like the LIV players are starting to get a little more comfortable as well. I saw a clip on social media where a fan came up to Patrick Reed and asked him to sign a rules book, which was dope. And Patrick was in good spirits about it. It wasn't that it wasn't that bullshit. So I think I'm at a point now. Again, is Scotty Scheffler? We know he's a great player, but does it mean that much because we don't have the rest of the best in the world in the field as he's in his prime right now? That's the thing that scares me. And
are we gonna start? So here's the thing, and I know that when you look at the major rota, right? You've got the Masters, PGA Championship, U.S. Open, Open Championship. The only one of those that's an invitational is the Masters. Now, just bear with me.
Okay.
PGA Tour instituted the elevated events for the invitationals, like the Masters, right? And including the Travelers, which I thought was weird, but whatever. So, like, you got the Bay Hill Memorial, Genesis. Will those be the first places that we see LIV players come back to after the PGA Tour and LIV figure this out? Will that be like where we first see Jon Rahm? Will it be at like the Genesis, etc.? Like I've been thinking about that too lately. It's like, huh?
So you're saying, Doug, you want to slowly integrate?
I'm saying if they. No, I don't want to do. I'm just saying if the PGA Tour and LIV start to the conversations to get the best deals.
Start them elevated events first.
Well, that's the weird part, right? Because they're elevated events, but they're also invitationals. So it's up to the tournament committee.
Or do you have the LIV players come back to increase the audience for the opposite field events during that week? I mean, we would love to see Jon
Rahm play Myrtle Beach.
In Myrtle Beach playing against Rob McIntyre. Hey, shout out to Rob McIntyre. Shout out to Rob McIntyre. Rob McIntyre finished top 10 this week, which is he need alcohol for all the cuts that he's been getting. But shout out to Rob for finishing top 10 this week.
Yeah, man. But no, I think I'll say this with no hesitation. I miss seeing the product of golf that we saw at the PGA Championship. And a lot of the excitement was from suspended PGA Tour players. Remember, Jon Rahm came in the week saying, I'm still a PGA Tour member. I'm just suspended. He did say that. And I was like, I like that. Okay, Jonathan Ramathan. Anyway.
I like that.
Thought that was interesting, Will, but time now for, well, my favorite part of the show, personally. I love everything that we do together, but there's just something magical, whimsical even, about the reverse leaderboard, that player that finished dead last in the field. And we don't do this to poke fun, kind of. We do this just to show you that there are, players that don't always shoot 61s and 2s every day and every week. Well, this week, I'd like to welcome Brendan Todd to the One of Us segment. Sir, you made the cut in the championship, was very proud of the body of work that you displayed. But on the weekend, sir, we get into that third round, 74, puts you over par for the championship. Only one birdie to go with 4 bogeys. Well, Mr. Todd, you had a long Sunday, just like most of us do on Sundays after raising our children, um, planning play dates, etc., and rushing to the golf course. Final round 79, plus 8 for the championship, 9 in that round. Brendan, you're a fantastic human being, wonderful husband, wonderful father. But, sir, over the weekend at the PGA Championship at Valhalla, you exhibited the qualities, well, that make you one of us. Welcome to the crew.
I was not you during Chambers Bay at the U.S. Open, but I was you this week.
Okay, there you go. Brendan Todd, welcome.
Hell yeah.
I need a graphic. We gotta get a graphic built, Will, for like all the people that are one of us. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to see Nick Dunlap, and can we get a Ryder Cup team of one of us? That would be funny as hell. But Will, we got to get to your part, your segment.
First, we're going to get nice with the LOLs. With segment is of Shank of the Week goes to a colleague of mine, friend of mine, lives in the same city as me. We drink the same water, which is Charlotte-Mecklenburg sewer system, but I do not have the problem that he has. Mr. Johnson Wagner, as we see right here, he is trying to have a chip off a tight lie, and he just flubs it. This for our listeners out there who checking out audio. We have Johnson Wagner during his time on Golf Channel when he's trying to give a display on the fourth hole, second shot, short 352 yard hole. So he didn't give the greatest example, Doug, because this guy was shanking, sculling. But think about it, Doug, when you are a PGA Tour winner and you go on, on the camera and you don't really perform to what you trying to paint the picture as, the embarrassment only can go but so far because you won on the PGA Tour. Now, Doug, if that was you and I, and we're trying to get our notches under our belt to, go on and do some camera work, we cannot mess up on live television.
Let me say this about Johnson Wagner. He is a PGA Tour player. He self-proclaimed chipping yips. He did say that before he tried to hit one shot on camera. And look, in Johnson's defense, it's not like you get to practice before you do that. Let's go down to Johnson. I wasn't ready. Okay, here comes. So this is the shot, and he's trying to set up the shot that Xander had there in the third round, and he's trying to pitch the ball up the hill. Oh, Johnson. Yeah. Chunky, scully, wipey. There's the chunk right there. Just no commitment. Look at.
Hey, Doug. What's the funny part is, we've seen over time when you have a one hand shot where things just don't come out, but one hand shot on the chip, you just knew it had no chance.
And that was a good shot to a back right hole location. It's just not to the hole location that he was trying to play it to. And then this is what's funny. Now he's nervous. On the third ball, he's like, you know what? Oh, to hell with this. You know what? Look, I tried to do this little segment that the producers made me do, and I've embarrassed myself. Now here's what Johnson didn't deserve, but I was there for the comments. He didn't deserve absolutely getting roped. Matter of fact, he might be leading the PIF right now, Johnson Wagner, because all the impressions of him sculling the ball, shaking and chunking the ball, like that has gone viral. And I know it's going to work to his advantage. But Johnson, you're a good sport. We love you to death. But keep the wedges out of your hands, my guy. Will, we've got one more show to get to for us. We got Beyond the Green, which is our career exploration with the PGA of America, the panel discussions that we've hosted. We've done the PGA World Collegiate Championship down at Sawgrass 2 weeks ago. We were in Louisville last week. Now we're heading to Benton Harbor, Michigan for the senior PGA, the KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship. I'm sure you got a flight to catch. Everybody, off the top, we said go ahead and follow, subscribe, leave commentary. Look, we try to make this interactive. We appreciate it. As always, we'll be back next week with, I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. Beyond the Fairway, we here to go, baby. Holla at you.
Hell yeah.
That's probably my favorite thing that you say. It's just, hell yeah. Hell yeah.